Hey everyone, Dan here. Before we get into it, if you enjoy these videos, please hit the like and subscribe button. It helps a lot. And also keep in mind that these are my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. These are not meant to be, nor should you take them as investment or trading advice in any way, shape, or form. Do your own due diligence, put in the work for yourself, and make your decisions based on that. Enjoy. All right, folks, here we are after market close on Wednesday, October 27th. We're going to take a look at Wish today. Wish pretty handily won the Twitter poll that I put out. My Twitter handle is in the description below if you want to check it out there or follow me there. And I put out polls several nights a week to see what ticker or tickers people would be interested in me covering, just so that hopefully these aren't going into the void as much as possible. So Wish was chosen by those Twitter folks, and so here we are. Now, a couple of things. I want to cover the chart on Wish and look for some key areas, some key trends forming, and then flip over to Ortex and check out the data that Ortex has for what's going on with Wish. Now, one thing I think to get out of the way pretty quickly here is there was this gap here back in May, and it filled that pretty quickly, right? It filled it within just a couple 3 weeks. Now this one has been here since August 13th, so 2.5 months, and it still hasn't it's just been moving away from it, right? I guess is a way to put it. So at some point I sort of kind of try to distance myself from saying, oh, it's going to move up to fill this gap, because at some point so much time passes that I kind of just think that given enough time, like if you just give something all time forever to fill a gap, it probably will eventually, but it's really only helpful or impactful if it's something like this, right? Where it's just a few days or a few weeks pass by and it comes to fill that pretty aggressively. Also, that to me is what's more interesting. So I'm not going to put a ton of weights into this gap at the moment. I think maybe if it starts to get some action, or as it starts to accumulate closer to that level, it would be interesting, but for now I'm just going to kind of ignore it. Now, one thing that's pretty apparent here is this downtrend that it recently consolidated its way out of. So what I would be looking for, the best bullish opportunity here really, actually let me try to put in a trend channel and see if that works. So right here, you see this channel forming. If it can continue to work in there, and I actually don't want to have that on there forever, start to establish up this support line. This puts it in a position where it could sort of ascending triangle its way out based on confining the price action in here, and then right about the $7 level, could see a nice rise out of it. That then would put it, if it does aggressively move over that $7 level, then that's when it could put this gap in play. But again, I don't necessarily think it'd be coming back to fill the gap because of the gap. I think it would just be a process of time and a stock moving through different price points over time. But anyway, that's what I would be looking for it to hold this uptrend. That, like I said, this is the best bull case scenario for sure, aside from it just going parabolic for who knows why. But that's what I would be looking for. And then some key points. So if it does need support, the first thing that I would say is it needs to find that support on the CL line. If it can't, though, there's like this, there's not really great zones down here. I mean, you have obviously this 461, but there's just not a lot else to go on. You place it there, yeah, there's just no historical like helping points. I mean, this area that it's at right now, I mean, this feels really redundant to put in because the yellow line is there also, but you do see it flipped from resistance to support and then reconfirm that support there. And that is right about where the price is at the moment, $4.91. So just 5 cents away. But, it's testing 5 in the aftermarket hours, so we'll see what happens. But that's what I would be looking for. I don't feel the need to sort of like really gummy up the chart with a bunch of other price points and everything, because nothing really matters until it really can make a move at that $7 range, as far as I can tell. I mean, the other thing that we could say is it'll probably find some real stickiness in this area here. So So put that as like a red zone. No, that's confusing. I'll leave it blue. It's obvious what it is, right? So previous resistance here that had flipped from support, had support there, and tried to confirm it and couldn't. So that's a clear pivot point, $6.30. So it's sort of like coming up to these two key levels. But I think that that's the play for the time being. And of course, if it falls through and can't hold 461, then it's just sort of on a continuation of this overall trend. The biggest danger here is that it comes down and starts kind of treating this downtrend resistance as support, and it just keeps kind of bouncing itself off of that, but steadily going down. So, I mean, that's such a steep decline that hopefully it's able to kind of reverse course here and start to move up. But this trend line holding will be super telling, because that 630 could approach, I mean, relatively quickly. It could be a few weeks or months into the future, but in the vast scheme of things, you know, folks in Wish have been certainly in a lot of pain for a long time. So what am I trying to click here? You know, I mean, folks who would have bought here in the 20s or 30s or even in the teens, I mean, if those folks are still holding, this is just a pretty brutal situation that they're in, of course. So who knows? But that's the way that I see that. Now flipping over to the data, return potential is super high. I mean, I know a lot of folks feel like the actual value on Wish should be much higher than, you know, this consensus price target of 939, and it's pretty spread on the analysts, right? It's 3 buys, 3 sells, and 4 holds. So I mean, that's almost, it's nearly as equal across the board as you can get on them being split. So that said, there's all of this purported return potential, but staring in the face of that is this 1 month return of almost minus 13%. And over the last 12 months, a lot of sales from insiders. I don't know if, yeah, even a bunch of those, or a bit of that coming in the last month, and quite a bit of it coming in the last 3 months. Yeah, so insiders just seem to kind of consistently be selling. So take that for what you will, but I'm sure that's certainly not helping. The other thing that's not helping is the short interest, that's for sure. So days to cover, not insignificant, a little over 2.5. Cost to borrow, now that's negligible. So that's not going to be keeping shorts away in any way, shape, or form. Utilization getting quite high, and over 15% per Ortex's estimates. So shorts putting quite a bit of pressure on Wish, probably coming in and trying to fire the kill shot essentially, and say, let's just take this thing down and get it delisted, or you know, force them to reverse split, or you know, something, and kind of see what happens. But yeah, definitely a lot of pressure to be under, but it has the best opportunity to reverse now that it has had since like end of June, as far as I'm concerned. But we'll have to see what happened. Why did this box come back? That's very odd. All right. Anyway, I think that'll do it for this video. Regardless of what you're trading, I hope you had a good hump day and that you're able to finish the week off strong ahead, and I appreciate you watching. I will see you in the next video.